For any production grade cloud environment, regardless of its size, there must be a backup bunker account. You should take backup of your virtual machines and other cloud assets in all of your accounts and then move those backups to the bunker account. This bunker account must be like a fortress. This is your lifeline in case of ransomware attacks. You want to create an account that is not accessible from any of the other accounts where you back up the assets. In this video, I'm going to discuss how you can create a bunker account in any cloud provider, but the focus will be on AWS. But you can find similar services and concepts in all the major cloud providers. So the idea is that you take the backup in your production accounts, and then instead of keeping those backups scattered around your accounts, you move them to a unified account, which is called as a bunker backup account. This account should also not have access to any of the assets in other accounts. You must remove this account from your organization hierarchy and shouldn't be accessing this account via Okta either. So, in simple words, this bunker account must be isolated. In order to do that, furthermore, you must use separate set of credentials that are specifically for use when backing up data and will have break class permissions for the case where you need to access that backup data. In many cases, ransomware will try to obtain access to backups before triggering in your cloud environment. To prevent this, you'll need to consider all the attack paths that can allow an attacker to get from one system or one set of credentials to the next. This is a common mistake I find on security assessments. When you create a backup account, you do not want to allow access from the accounts and roles that are operating in a cloud environment on a regular basis. You want to set these resources up in a separate account that is rarely accessed and has different roles and permissions. Roles used for backups should be restricted to only write new files with new permissions to alter prior versions or delete files. When creating backup accounts for an organization, you will want to create roles that can write backups to the account but not edit or delete the files. Ensure backups are encrypted in transit. You can enforce this in settings such as restrictions in S3 bucket policies in AWS. Consider turning on versioning and restrict access to versions. That way, if something gets deleted or encrypted by ransomware, you can access prior versions to resolve this problem. On that note, it is better to use a customer managed KMS key to protect backups than the default AWS encryption key. Restrict the ability to make resources public. Limit network access with endpoints and IP restrictions. Consider requiring MFA to retrieve or delete backups or change the related policies. We will want to severely restrict what has access to your backup account, but will want to enable AWS CloudTrail and AWS Card Duty services so we can monitor the account. You'll probably want to set up specific alerts and monitoring so you know as soon as someone leverages a backup related permission that shouldn't be in use. You can use services like SNS for this purpose. If you are using emails to receive alerts, you may want to look into additional security for DNS and email records. And I'm talking about SPF, TKIM, and such technologies for email protection. You may want to check the integrity of your backups periodically to ensure they are still intact. Understand the service level agreements for such service you use for backups and how this may affect if you have an urgent need to access your data. Businesses always need to consider the cost of data not being available when they need it versus the cost to maintain additional backups, which is part of your disaster recovery and business continuity plan. Bit of a dry topic, but worth going through. Because what if a particular data center fails completely? In this case, you will want to make sure your backups and systems span multiple availability zones and regions. If you are using AWS, I would highly recommend that your backup account is in a stand-alone organizational unit with a standalone service policy applied to it. So these are just a starting point. You can tailor these points for your bunker account as per your organization's policies. I hope this was useful. If there is only one takeaway you want to get from this video is that if you're running any production cloud, then make sure you have a bunker account which has all of your backups as per these best practices. Thank you.